making this mask wearing mandate a part of that pandemic relief is an imperative. It's a moral imperative and frankly, a political imperative, because the solution to this pandemic requires a comprehensive strategy, including mask wearing, physical distancing, hand washing, even as we move into a stage in addressing the pandemic that will enable more and more people to have vaccines. But this pandemic relief package is a good down payment. It's a next step, and the mask wearing mandate should be a part of it.
Our goal is going to be to work towards including it inside of the coronavirus relief package. We think this is kind of common sense.
From Nick, what is the expiration date on the mask wearing mandate?
I don't think there is any.
I don't think there is one. That's why we don't know the answer. Yeah, thank you.
I don't think there is any because, frankly, we're going to be in this pandemic for a while. We don't know exactly how long. Obviously, our hope is that at some point it would not be necessary. But here's the critical point. We're going to listen to the scientists. Unlike the Trump administration, which has sought to politicize all of these decisions, I think that there ought to be discretion to listen to the scientists and to leave open the date so that we will know with some certainty and security when wearing masks is no longer necessary. And in some places, it may be longer than others. I think that that's the kind of smart, strategic approach that is required. And I might just add, as a general matter, what Senator Markey and I have tried to do in these various measures is, in fact, to present a strategy for different places, federal facilities, essential transportation, other places, a strategy that's been lacking in this administration because of the ineptitude and incompetence of the Trump White House. What's needed is, in fact, a national testing strategy, a vaccine strategy, and a mask wearing strategy. All have been lacking. And these measures seek to impose that kind of strategy, leaving open the date for requiring masks because we need to see what kind of progress is made through the vaccine and through other measures that are available.
How do you respond to individuals who believe it is their constitutional right not to wear a mask?
Well, I'll take that.
Okay.
Let me just offer this. We do certain things with public safety, and people agree to do those things in order to participate in our society. So we have rules of the road for driving, for example, and people have to follow those requirements, including wearing a seatbelt, including not talking on your cell phone while you're driving. And in aviation, you cannot smoke on a plane. And if you smoke on a plane, you're going to be facing fines and potentially even jail time. So there are certain requirements when we recognize that to be safe, we have to have rules that keep all of us safe. And this is just another example of that. And the examples of where we do this in society and we accept these things are numerous. And this is one more right now in the middle of this pandemic.
Yeah, Sarah really put it really well, but I'll just add from a lawyer standpoint, I think the question is kind of an interesting one in light of the Supreme Court's recent ruling on the constitutional freedom to attend church services. I think that ruling was in error with all due respect, but the attending of worship or religious services where there is a constitutional right to practice religion is completely different from a public safety measure that applies to public transportation or public facilities, federal premises. There is no constitutional right to defy a public safety order in the midst of a pandemic. Zero constitutional right. And I think the previous court decisions have stated that fact very unequivocally and emphatically. So to someone who claims a constitutional right not to wear a mask, sorry, it doesn't exist.
I was one of the co-authors in 1987 of the law that banned smoking on flights 2 hours or less. Then Congressman Durbin, myself, Henry Waxman, and others, we were successful in winning that debate. And it was a very close vote. It was a 1-vote difference. And there were millions of Americans who all felt they had a right to go onto planes and smoke cigars, cigarettes for the duration of the flight, regardless of the public health impact on others on that flight. And I know my father smoked 2 packs of Camels a day for the entirety of his life. And I know what that mentality is. But ultimately, the public health of every other citizen was also involved. And we're in the same situation today, where we're talking not just about the public health of that individual who doesn't want to wear a mask, but everyone else on the plane, at the post office, in a supermarket, to be protected. And so I do believe that the precedent that we set with smoking on planes holds here as well, that the public health does take precedence, and that it's the overwhelming sentiment of the American people that they want to have these health safety protections in place. And it's almost impossible to count the number of lives that have been saved because of the additional anti-smoking measures that have been put in place at the same time, while still preserving for an individual the right in their own home or in the privacy of their lives to be able to smoke, but not in a way which endangers others. The same thing is true here with this mask mandate. We're just saying where individuals come into contact with the general public, they have a responsibility to society as a whole.